In this video, I want to break down the best role that you can choose in Red Dead Online as of the update on September the 10th. As I'm sure you all know by now, 3 roles are being brought to the game: the Bounty Hunter, Trader and Collector. In the future, Rockstar have said they're going to be bringing more roles out, but for now, these are the 3 that we've got. Each role has different unlockable features that you can obtain by moving up through 20 levels associated with that role. However, if you're like most players, you don't have the time to pump hours into leveling every single role up to the max level of 20. The choice isn't as important as what we get when we land in Professor Oak's lab for the first time, but it's worth putting some thought into the path that you choose to go down. Spend your time unlocking the levels of a role that you actually want to play with, that you're interested in, and that suits your style of play. And that is the purpose of this video, to advise you on the best role for you. Of course, there is a fair argument that this is subjective, of course it is, but based on the trends in the way players go about playing this game, I feel the information in this video will be applicable to the majority. So the first way I looked at each role is to assign a number to them given the relative style of play. If a role is focused on solely fighting and killing, they will be towards the top end of the aggressive peaceful scale, around the sort of 8, 9, 10 mark. Whereas if they're quite a chilled role, just about roaming around, picking up herbs and stuff, that would be right down there at, say, number 1. There are already various ways to play Red Dead Online, with many choosing the peaceful life of hunting, while others opt for a gunslinging PvP style of play. We all know those griefers are out there. So let's start by giving a number to the Bounty Hunter. Based on the information Rockstar has put out there regarding this role, the playstyle will be very heavily combat orientated. With players taking bounties from around the state and looking to hunt down targets, the Bounty Hunter role will be only PvE orientated until role rank 12 of 20, in which bounties will then extend to PvP, allowing you to hunt down other players if they've got a bounty of over $20. So as you would assume, the Bounty Hunter is all about fighting against enemies, both computer and player controlled. And if it wasn't for the fact that you get more reward for keeping the target alive, this would be a big fat 10. But as it stands for me on this scale, the Bounty Hunter sits at a 9. Moving on to the Trader. Now initially you might feel that the Trader would be well down the scale towards the peaceful side of things. However, as a trader you have to go on missions to acquire materials through, as Rockstar put it, less than savoury tactics, meaning you'll likely find yourself doing a few robberies here and there. That is alongside the hunting that you'll be required to do. As well as this, your camp will occasionally be raided. It's not completely clear if it's solely PvP or PvE orientated yet, but regardless, somebody's got to get stabbed! So on this scale you'll find the Trader at a 6 on the scale of rowdiness. Finally, the Collector. Again with this one, initially this appears to be a very peaceful role, and based on the newswire, there is absolutely no mention of combat. However, in the trailer that Rockstar released recently, Madame Nazar states, "It's work as honest as you want it to be," and then Cripps goes on to say, "With any opportunity comes risk," and these quotes come straight after the clips of the Collector in action. In addition to this, the people that are involved in those clips are all heavily armed, so don't expect your journey with this role to be as peaceful as you first thought. The Collector though is still the most peaceful role in terms of gameplay, coming in at a 3. So now we understand the playstyle of each role, let's take a look at what we can unlock with each one. The lists of these items don't include everything you can unlock, as there's various cosmetic items that you'll also be able to get your hands on, but you can be confident in the fact that Rockstar have told us about all the best stuff. That is, in terms of the items that you get with each role. For this section, I've ranked each item detailed on the newswire with a score of 1 as not very desirable, 2 as desirable, or 3 as very desirable. I've then averaged these scores for each role. Obviously this section here is subjective, but hopefully I think you'll agree with me on stuff like emotes being not very desirable and weapons lockers or wagons being very desirable. So here are the items and the relative scores for the Bounty Hunter. With an average score of 1.86, there aren't many items in this list that really get me excited. I think the score is dragged down significantly though by the fact there's emotes included in this one. If you were basing it solely on the newswire, it seems like there aren't any emotes involved in the other 2 roles. But we don't know this for sure yet. The expansions to the pouches have got to be 3s for me, as we've needed an expansion to storage for quite a long time now. The emotes, again, as I've said, I'm not really fussed about these and I don't rate them very highly at all. Next up, the Trader. The items on this list are the standout best in my opinion. There are so many here that excite me, resulting in an average score of 2.27. The weapons locker, stew pot, hunting wagon, these are all top quality features and I cannot wait to get my hands on them. Finally, the Collector, with an average score of exactly 2. The Collector's got a decent array of unlockables, but the issue with them is that they're all focused on the role development and have got limited uses outside of this. The metal detector, divination, the shovel, and intuition, they're all things that you'll be needing to progress in this role anyway. They're all about searching for treasure. So the high rating for these items is based on the fact that they're really desirable to progress just within that role. Your choice of role clearly will be a personal thing based on the preferences that you've got and the way that you play your games. So my final recommendations are that if you're extremely into your combat and fighting, then the bounty hunter is the one for you, while the more chill, peaceful role will be the collector. But with that being said, I feel that based on the balance of peaceful and aggressive attributes of the trader, mixed with the number of brilliant items that you can unlock with this role, this is the one to go for. Trader for me is absolute number one. It combines the chilled elements with hunting, as well as the combat in robberies and defending your camp. For me, it's a no-brainer. I'm going to be jumping on the trader role on September the 10th straight away. It would be really interesting to hear what role you're going to be going for, so head over to my Twitter account linked in the top line of the description and vote in the poll that I've put up. It'd be great to see what the community thinks and get a breakdown of the numbers. I'm into my numbers, I don't know if you've noticed. As well as that, let me know in the comments what one catches your eye. And do you disagree with the ratings I've given during this video, or do you agree? I look forward to hearing from you. I'm JmCooKie, cheers.